Okay, so again, for the 400th time, I'm making this video for me as a video diary, something I can look back on, something I can go to, and have a place to talk, a little self-therapy, feel more comfortable, more confident with who I am, and also this is the best way to get over feeling awkward because this is how I present myself in the world. And if I can't look at myself in this camera and not feel cringy, then I don't think that I've gotten to a spot where I want to be. So this is for me, and maybe this will help somebody in the future. Or you're watching this and you feel the same way I do and just want somebody to relate to. Because I know there's many videos that I've watched over the years that I've related to and have gotten me through some tough times. So hopefully this is something that could not only help me, but help somebody else, which would be awesome. So if you don't know who I am, which nobody knows who I am, my name is Kira. I'm 30 years old. I'm transgender. Very weird that you have to say those kind of things like it matters at all. And yeah, there can be multiple videos about things that I'm into, but that's not really the point of today's video. So I kind of want to just get stuff off my chest, what I've been thinking about. I've been in quarantine for 2 months and it's been nice. I mean, I haven't had to go to work and like worry about things at work, being there for 8 hours a day and feeling self-conscious and riding the bus and all the other stuff that you do when your life is hectic and things just feel like it's just going from one day to the next that blur together and it's never ending. And it's good to kind of have a time to take a break from all that, even though if it's like, you know, crazy like it's been going. So but this is for me mostly. Just want to get some things off my chest and feel like I'm able to look back on this and see the changes and see how much I've progressed, and hopefully in 5 years not look back on this and cringe super hard because this is fucking weird and awkward. But I've been thinking a lot about like being alone. I'm always alone. It's 95% because of me and my insecurities, and I don't have friends probably because of that, and a lot of other like issues that I haven't even worked out. I don't really have people I can go to or I can talk to. I don't have family members that I can talk to. I have like 3 people in my family that I can maybe trust and talk to, but I don't have a dad. My dad died when I was 24. My mom and I do not talk, which is sad, but necessary. My rest of my family doesn't really like me. And that was before I transitioned. Just always the black sheep. Never really had any relationship with even my grandparents. I don't know. It kind of just got to the point where I've become self-sufficient. I don't really rely on anybody other than my brother who lives with me. We kind of help each other out, and this is just how it's been. And it's been okay, like not really having friends. Like I have a best friend who doesn't live near me anymore, lives 800 miles away. And we're like the same person, basically. And it's just hard to relate to people. Like, people from work are fucking, all of them are fucking awesome. It's just, I don't feel like I fit in. Like, not only am I transgendered, but I guess I'm different. Like, I don't relate to a lot of the things, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it. That could also be the case. And I look like Weird Al with my hair right now. Jesus Christ. So, I hope I can edit this. Like, I don't know how to edit, but this is such a garbage mess. Fuck. Okay. So this is also to, like, help me with my voice, which I'm super insecure about. And, like, kind of, like, get used to it, maybe. Because it's very weird and awkward. And I don't know how people talk to themselves and then also feel, like, 100% confident with their voice. Like, it's so weird. Like, I hate my voice. I think that's my biggest insecurity. It's very raspy. But also, like, anybody else that I feel like is relatively normal has problems with their looks and their perception of how other people look at them, and which is, of course, minuscule and shouldn't matter, but in some instances it does, and it has a very big effect on my anxiety when I'm, like, out in public and stuff, which I've been working on. But it's difficult when you're kind of just alone and you don't really have anybody to talk to or any way to filter these thoughts, and it's easy to dwell on the negative, and it's a little hard when you don't have that positive impact in your life that just makes the negative even out. Because obviously there are negative things always, but I would like to think that I tend to be more positive, but it's always a struggle. It's a struggle, and I think everyone deals with that at some point in their life, or maybe it will always be something, but I want to be able to control that big issue, especially anxiety. Very difficult to do much when you constantly doubt yourself or feel like you're not doing good enough or even enough. But just the fixed parts of myself is mainly the reason I want to do this, and look back on things that I talk about here, and hopefully I figured out ways to cope with a lot of these things, and then maybe help some people along the way, especially like other trans people who don't feel confident and have the same issues I have and want a person to relate to and things to talk about. But this is mostly for me. I mean, 98% is for me, so I can have somebody to talk to. And nobody really has any feedback, so it's kind of nice to just talk and say things that are on my mind instead of waiting for somebody to respond and maybe not liking the way they respond, which is, again, a healthy way to cope, but baby steps. So, I think I've gone over everything I wanted to get over. Well, covered. But it's very difficult to be transgender in this world, but it's easier than it would have been a couple years ago. That being said, it's not usually how I look at myself. I just look at myself as a person, and I'm just doing things that I want to do and things that I enjoy, and it doesn't really have anything to do with how I'm perceived, or really just what my body is supposed to be. I'm just kind of being who I am. And it's just weird to like have to do that or announce it or find confidence and comfort in just being you. I just think a lot of the world and a lot of people are more unsure of themselves than they think, and it projects onto other people, especially people who are different, which is a lot of the reason why I don't think my family has ever really understood me. So who knows? Remember, this also might be oversharing, but it's better than oversharing with people at work or going to the library and getting a book and oversharing with the person behind the counter, because they don't fucking care. And they shouldn't, like, and neither should I. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just so weird. But this will be a journey on top of a journey for me to have this to come to talk about things, say things, cope with myself, life in general, and just eventually be where I want to be, who I want to be. I'm like way more confident than I ever used to be. Like even 4 years ago, like I didn't like who I was. I was a whole completely different person. I wasn't confident. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about myself. I didn't take care of myself. I kind of just lived for the sake of just being alive, and it wasn't really, there was no point to it. And then when I finally like found myself and got to a position where I was like, okay, like thinking about who I really wanted to be and who I really am, it all got a lot better and made me feel 100% better. Like I have had people that I've known before I transitioned, and they're just like, you seem more happy. And that's the best compliment you can ever get, is that people just can tell that you're a happier person. And I was, like, I am, like, there's like nothing wrong with, like, for me, there was nothing wrong with hitting rock bottom and growing from that. Like, it kind of helped in a weird, depressing, disastrous way. And I'm very grateful that I got to that point to where I can rise from the ashes. Man. Jesus Christ, I'm so weird. But I kind of hope that if anybody sees this, they look at it and they're like, oh, okay, like I felt that way too. Or even like people who aren't transgender can find solace in like understanding that like we're not crazy humans. We're so detached nowadays that it's just like sometimes you gotta say weird shit in front of a camera in your room at 8 o'clock at night to know that you're not crazy. Does that make sense? I don't know. Kind of over it. But I do feel more comfortable. I feel better talking about this. I don't feel better about my voice. That's still something I'm very insecure about, and I hope gets better over time. And something I've been really trying to work on. And I really think this will help. Just doing it, I guess, which is a lot of getting over things, is just starting and doing it. But this has been very, I wouldn't say negative, but kind of a downer. So, since the New Year's, I've made resolutions, and I've stuck to them for the most part. Like working out, I hate it, but I do it. Do it at least 4 times a week. Reading, love to read. Don't ever have time to do it. Already read 2 books this year. Especially reading things that you're like, you enjoy. Like Star Wars, super cool to read. Just as fun to watch as it is reading. Like, it's actually a little bit better because there's so much more in depth. So that's helped. Even reading books, like I read a book that I didn't really enjoy, but a lot of people said it was a good book, and I didn't like it. But I stuck through and I read the whole thing. And that's kind of why I made that resolution, was so I can stick through them. Even if it's hard and even if I don't want to, I'm going to do it anyway because I set that goal for myself and that's what I want to achieve. And then there's some other resolutions that I haven't yet gotten to. Like studying Japanese. I want to learn Japanese and be fluent in Japanese. But I haven't done much. But I also have done a lot of painting, which I am not very good at all. But it's been fun. And it's kind of rewarding and also very, very therapeutic to just sit with some headphones on and just paint. And very frustrating as well. Especially when you don't know exactly what you're doing. And that gets tedious, but it's still fun. And I will finish paints. I will finish those paints that I started. Is that the right terminology? I don't know. So I've done a lot of projects too, which is really cool. Maybe if anybody cares, I can show you projects. I mean, I post them on Instagram, but again, I kind of just do stuff for me. It's not really, like, I love the feedback. Like, people, like, say, like, oh, this is so cool. Like, yeah, I fucking love it. I love making things that people think is cool, or, like, they're like, oh, wow, like, I didn't know you can do that. And I'm always like, you can do it too. Like, it's so, like, easy once you start, like, getting into it. And, like, that would be really cool to, like, have my own, like, studio and be like, I want to do that. I'm like, well, come over and do it, and we can do it together, and it's so fucking awesome. Maybe, I don't know, that'd be cool. Or just like have some coffee with some people and then be like, hey, you want to paint? That would be really cool. I don't know. Or even just like draw or doodle. That'd be cool. Also, I've been playing guitar a lot. I don't know if you can see. Here. Yes, that is an electric guitar. And no, I'm not good at it. Even though I've technically been playing since I was 10. I never take any lessons. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just like to thrash was the metal, like the Devil Wears Prada. My favorite band. Which is weird because it looks like I'm like flaunting. This is the band. But it's kind of the only thing I have on my wall other than my lightsaber. It's kind of really all I wanted to get to. This kind of took a weird turn. I talked about things that I didn't really expect to. It's very weird. I don't know. Hopefully I can edit this. And if I can't, then who gives a fuck? Like, I can either show people this or not show people this. It's a 21-minute video already. Who the fuck is gonna watch this whole thing? Like, but this has been really cathartic. And I feel a lot better. I don't know if I'm gonna rewatch this though. Again, super weird. So I think that's where I'm gonna end this. Bye.